Also, I realized today that I told you wrong about the cities that were on the other across the sea. The first time that we saw the god of Nerel on the ship. I said that Lekgolam was across the sea, but actually that should be where we're at. I was getting towns mixed around. There should be Westmarch, New Tristram, Horrigath, which is right outside of the Ariat crater.
So we're on the other continent right now?
Yeah, if you want to call it that. I mean, basically, they just took like the Falkland Islands and flipped them upside down. So it's like these two land masses with a small body of water between them.
Yeah.
Not to the extreme of like the vanilla WoW geography, like way closer, but
Older.
I mean, D2 also takes place on the other side.
I thought parts of it took place over here.
Acts 1 and 2 take place on this side, 3, 4, and 5 take place on the other side.
Yeah. Where did D1 take place?
All in Tristram.
Yeah.
And the catacombs beneath. I think. I don't know, I didn't play D1.
Yeah, so basically, which zone in D2 did they use here? Are you playing with Roman? I'm not playing with Roman, so he's not playing at all. Which zone did D2 start in? I felt like they would have had to have had Skosglen to make the druids make sense.
Oh wait, where does, hold on. Yeah, you're just in like a camp in Act 1, then you go to Lekgolam, which is in the Dry Steppes in Act 2, and then you get on a boat and cross and you go to Curast in Act 3. And then Act 4 is... I don't remember. I think it's like in Hell, or let's Google it. Level 2, Act 4.
So that random town encampment could be anywhere on this side of the continent. Or this continent.
I bet it's Durandi.
Oh, it's in Pandemonium. Act 4. And then we go to Horrigath, which is like this town down at the base of the Ariat mountain, which is now a crater. Mm-hmm. And you travel your way upwards to kill Bale, and then Tyrael throws his sword at the
World Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So the only part of D2 that actually takes place on this side is Act 1 and 2, with Act 1 not really being clear where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. There's like... Yeah, because the locations are very kind of agnostically named, like the tower, like Witch's Tower or something like that. There's the barracks where you fight Dariel. They're pretty nondescript. They could be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a much more mossy, stone-covered place, so I imagine it's probably Skosglen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every act has like a different sort of biome.
Yeah, so they probably just kind of wrote in that means they just kind of like added in the fractured peaks and Hawazar and Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, I mean, we did have, in the old world map, we did have some of the locations we have now labeled, but not in the same way that we have them now. So, there was Dry Steppes and Skosglen, but Fractured Peaks wasn't a thing. Kyrgyzstan was labeled. Hawazar was just like swampland or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that because a lot of time has passed, that these were either unnoteworthy places or have been developed since then.
Yeah.
Because like Hawazar's capital city isn't as impressive as the others.
Yeah. They're obviously they're basically witch doctors. But not as crazy. They're not as crazy. They're like, because the witch doctors are from the other continent.
Well, you have Chaldeum in this continent. That's a place I recognize. Or Alcarnus.
Yeah, how are Chaldeum and Arcarnus on this continent, but they should be on the other side?
Maybe there's just another Alcarnus.
Because that's where you kill, like, Duriel is in Alcarnus in D2, right?
He is, I think, underneath.
Chaldeum? Okay.
No, so the town in D2 was Lekgalaim, which was the big giant desert city. He's, I can't remember. He's either underneath Lekgalaim or he's underneath Talrash's tomb. And I think it's there because I think that's how you get out of the tomb. Is you have to break a wall, and he's been imprisoned there, and then that leads into a tunnel.
How does Chaldeum make sense here then?
Well, this franchise has never been known for its good writing.
Yeah, I guess.
No, D2's story is not that great. But, I mean, it's also, in terms of storytelling, very limited by the technology at the time. They literally just had cutscenes and some quest dialogue stuff, and that was it. And, like, quest dialogue was, like, very, very clunky.
How the fuck does... I'm confused. How the fuck does Chaldeum make sense over here then? Unless there's just two Chaldeums. There could be.
Yeah, I don't know, because this Chaldeum is like...
This one doesn't have sewer.
And I guess in the story it is overrun. Because we're like, in D3 we're getting all the survivors hiding under all the things, but my impression was that Yes, we took a boat. Oh, in D3 we took a boat? I thought that was the end of Act 1? That's where Neutra's from. Yeah, I guess that tracks. Same Chaldeum, same continent.
We don't have as much of a sense of the interconnectedness of the world in D3.
Ah, I understand. I'm gonna pull it up on stream. I understand. The map in Diablo 3 is actually better than this map. I'm gonna show you why. Ugh. Or makes more sense. Can I zoom out farther than this? Guess I can't. Okay. I got it here. It makes more sense now. I don't look at D3's map often, but here. This is the Diablo 3 map. Do you see how it works? Okay, look at this map.
Yeah.
Okay, look here at this ridge at the bottom, and then here. This is that. We don't know anything about anything way the fuck down over here, but we do. We spent a lot of time over here. And there's not really an ocean. There's this gap here.
Wait, the fractured peaks
are over here.
In the right spot.
No, they're over here. They're just not all they're just not as snowy as Mount Ariat.
Yeah.
But they're over here. Yeah.
They just don't look very snowy in that.
The Diablo 3 map, they just didn't make them very snowy.
Okay. It's just summer.
So like we experienced Tristram and everything over here. So she got on a boat. So it's actually unclear if she got on a boat and went this way or went that way. I guess either way she's gonna end up in Act 3 or West March.
But assuming there's no continent to our east.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know that
they could just write another continent.
Yeah.
But it would be assumed that she's headed towards West March, I would think, is where she's headed, because it's like a port city. I think she's headed towards West March. It's just... They just don't showcase any of this on this map. Like, why not show off Sanctuary in its whole? I guess they kind of do. Or no, this is just water. Yeah, I don't know. So this is just...
Shouldn't there be a connection in the north?
What?
Shouldn't there be a connection in the north?
Should be really close, yeah.
Like the northwest should be connected.
Right here? Dry steppes? Yeah. Or maybe that's what
Or,
this
like,
is right here. This doesn't really look like it's
the
water.
Haradrim symbol is just conveniently blocking the continent.
Are those waves? I don't know. Like, yeah, this is blocking the continent, I guess, here. But yeah, technically it should be like right here. Should be just... Yeah, she must have left from this way then. She must have gone off of this direction. And headed towards something or West March. Because she would have gotten, like... If you leave right here, you're... I mean...
You barely have to take a boat.
Yes, you'd still have to take a boat, though.
I mean, you
Well,
could
so
swim
I mean, it shows her traveling a bunch, and it shows her in a snowy area. Or
Shows
is she
her-
in the boat
she-
before or after the snowy area?
She leaves... The last place we see her in before the boat is a desert. So that makes me think dry steppes.
Yeah, so she crosses the fraction.
It makes
peaks,
it makes
goes
me think
through the
she
dry
it
steppes.
makes me think she leaves from here, from Gaekul. It makes me think she leaves from there. Which, if she left from here, that would be the most ocean she would have to go across, or most sea, would be right here to here.
Probably head to New Tristram would be the closest. And
Yeah.
Unless I mean, we don't really know where she's headed.
Yeah.
So she might just be trying to cover her tracks. I don't really have any reason to believe this, except that you killed Dephisto in the under parts of Curast in D2. So I kind of feel like if she is being influenced by the stone, that's a location that is...
How did we get out of Act 2 in D3?
We just go to Bastion's Keep. We go to Bastion's Keep after Act 2, right?
Yeah, that's a different continent. All the way across the world. How the fuck did they explain us getting there? That's also where D3 falls short, though. Is explaining things like that.
I mean, in Act 2 was when we fight Magda...
Belial. It finishes with Belial and us
up-
saving Chaldeum.
Yeah, and then we, get news that Bastion's Keep is under attack? Like,
Yeah. That
I
Asmodan
guess
is...
at the end of Act 1, we kind of just get news that Chaldeum was under attack. It's not
Yeah.
like we organically move
Yeah.
out of Act 1 either.
Yeah.
Doesn't Leah get a vision of armies marching on
The keep?
keep?
Yeah. Yeah.
And does that lead? I don't really remember. I just remember like we get all the people to safety, and I think there's a little bit in the sewers.
Yeah, after we defeat Belial, it's very much like, oh, this is where the next sense of danger is. And then I guess, well, we waypoint, but I guess it's supposed to be, yeah, it would have been, we would have had to have taken a boat to get across the...
Yeah, how does Hadrian get there? He doesn't even know how to walk.
Yeah, I guess it's the same continent. We've experienced both. We've basically experienced all of both continents now, other than the south part of this side, which they don't really give the continents a name.
Oh,
It's
he's
just-
on the
it's
east
just-
side and the west side.
I mean, it's just all sanctuary, because I mean, they're touching.
Yeah.
They're literally touching at that top left part of the map.
Yeah, so to be clear, just a little bit of clarification. I'm saying continent because that's how I've heard other people refer to it. I
Yeah.
don't know that there's anything in universe that refers to them as two continents.
Yeah, it just seems like two land masses that might not be crossable unless you go across the sea. Which I guess you could consider that might be a continent to people in their world, in the world of Sanctuary. Because I mean, if they can't traverse the part up here at the top left of the map, then they can't traverse it. So you gotta take a boat.
Need to introduce them to the wonderful game of Polybridge. Triangles and arches.
A large continuous mass of land conveniently regarded as a collective region. I guess you could argue they're two continents.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to refer to them as that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to call them that. Especially because it now looks like it's canon from this map that there is mass between them. Or a mass of water between all parts. Also, time has passed, so...
Also, you don't have to have water between things in order to delineate continents.
True.
Asia and Europe are not separated by water.
Yeah. It's usually in game worlds they have continents divided by
Yeah,
chunks of water.
a lot easier to wrap heads on.
I want to see the south part of this map, though. Hopefully that could be... I mean, they've got... Basically, what this gives me hope for is they have a lot of room to grow. The map.
Oh, interesting. Alright, I guess Local Lame is on the other side. I don't understand that, because... So, there's a guy... So the overstory for D2 is like... A hooded figure walks into this... What is like...
Walks into a bar?
An asylum or something. And... He sits down in a guy's room and says, I finally found you. I was wondering where you went after the last time we saw each other, or something like that. And he says, oh, Tyrael, it's you. And he's sort of like, basically in flashback form, we get the whole story up until then. And he says that he meets a guy called the Wanderer, and he wants to head east, always to the east. But, so Let Golem is closer to Tristram on the west side, and then because I swear, like that, I guess that tracks because we board a boat and we're still headed east. So I guess that side is also desert, but it just does not look like a desert on the map. Okay, well, if we do go across the sea, we have a whole other desert area to look forward to.
I mean,
That's definitely why they didn't utilize this desert area, is because they knew that we were going to have another one.
Which also means that Telrash's tomb is on that side, but it also means that Kurast is on this side. And there is a region south of where we are marked as, I can't really... it's like the jungle area that you're in D2. What's that place called? It's called Flare Jungle. That's not what it's labeled as in the map. It's too low res to see.
okay. So, okay, yeah, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you guys something else. This is the Diablo Immortal map. This is Sanctuary. It's very the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for they keep adjusting the water. The map is not consistent about where the water goes. They added more on this one. They added more water on this one.
Yeah, dude, in this world they travel really fast.
Yeah.
They added more water here, but anyway. So this map will be closer to, this is between D2 and D3. So this is the frozen tundra up here. This is all area. We got to go to Mount Zavane in Diablo Immortal. We remember that quest chain.
I don't remember jack shit.
I remember,
brother.
We got to go to Mount Zavane. This is where the monks are.
There's that southern waypoint, and then there's kind of that curve on to the right of it. In the center of that curve is where Let Golem is.
Center of the where?
In the desert.
Yeah.
Or in the swamp.
This is so Bilefin is swamp.
Okay, well then north of Bilefin should be desert because that's where Let Golem is.
Yeah, Bilefin all around here was like swamp. I guess, yeah, it was deserty at the top of it in the game. We also went over here, though, to libraries. We just randomly we teleported in Immortal. We just randomly teleported into the Library of Zoltan Kuhl. So...
Oh yes, Kurast is actually just southeast of Gikul. There's like a little river, yeah, that bottom bit.
Yeah, we do nothing. Like we do almost nothing down here in the game.
I had the sites backwards when I started giving the explanation, which is very unhelpful.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Oh, 1 second, my headset died. So we have like all of this zone left to explore. Like they could do something down here in all of these zones, like all of this area.
Yeah, so in D2, the Flare jungle is largely like witch doctors and just really dense jungle, and then Kurast is like an old Mayan-like civilization that had this council that presumably got corrupted, and so they're all monsters, and most people are dead by the time you go there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Mephisto is. He's pacing back and forth, looking at the piles of bodies that he's made in the basement, and then you kind of just cast Blizzard and he dies.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens to me.
Yep. And he gets stuck on. He'll see you from across the kind of gap, and he'll just sort of walk over to the edge, and then he'll do the like pivot left, pivot right thing over and over. It's one of the buggier boss fights.
We've had that bug happen in this game. They really are trying to capture the essence of D2.